When I say it's been a long time coming, I mean it's been a long time coming. Yes, I'm Victoria Green Brackens, and today, instead of representing Milk and Honey Success Education, instead of representing my company in the forefront, I'm representing Greenhouse Catering and Consultation, which is my family's newly launched, it's not newly founded, but newly launched catering business. And a lot of the first post that I think that I put out once we got our official paperwork and everything, I think it said it's been a long time coming. And it says something to the effect that with the work ethic that and the experience that my mom and my aunts have, or really they're all three my aunts, but one of them is considered mom. But with their experience, with their work ethic, with the hand of God, it is due time for them to go in and have what God says that we could have. So I'm here to just tell you a little bit of how Greenhouse Catering came about and what it's about, what it represents, and why the launching of this and the making of this all these years, because it truly has been a long time coming, how it actually is a blessing. It should be a blessing to a lot of other people. I know it's probably a lot of people are probably still coming or relaxing from church or using Sunday. So hopefully you'll go back and watch this later. I'm going to share it and reshare it. I hope that whoever joins in shares it, because there's a lot to be learned, a lot of blessings to be had from watching this. So when I say it's been a long time coming, I can remember when my mom and my aunts worked at Doublegate Country Club when they were very, very, very young. I think even before I was born. I remember when I was maybe 2 or 3 years old, sitting on the lawn at Doublegate Country Club taking pictures. And it was really wonderful for me a few years ago when I got married there. And I just said it came full circle that I was able to get married and have my reception there, because there were many times when a lot of people, somebody from my class or somebody from my background would not be able to do something like have an event there. And so I remember my family working hard there for years. I remember when I think all of my family worked at least 20 years there, between 15 and close to 30 years there each. So when I say that they have these three ladies, my aunt Vicky, my mom Charlene, my aunt Cynthia, have almost 200 years of combined experience. They started out young. You know, most young people start out in a fast food restaurant, and they did. And then shortly after that, in their young adulthood, they went to Doublegate Country Club and worked there for decades. And that's the first lesson that I hope people learn from the launching of this and the making of Greenhouse Catering, that sometimes the different pieces that make up a story, actually God has workings already together for a master plan. So even though they didn't intentionally start, let's say in food service, because that's what they wanted to do, they were able to hone and gain so much experience by starting at a McDonald's or an Arby's or somewhere like that, and moving on up to a country club where they learned a lot of 5-star stuff, and then moving on to other things. But let that be lesson one, that when you start early, when you know what you want to do, we have school systems that pretty much, and family structures and value structures that tell kids to, work hard, go get a job, get the first job you can. When in reality, if you start them young, because you start them young on what they really want to do, if they already know they want to be a cosmetologist, start taking classes and doing that stuff when they are very young, in middle school, whenever it's the earliest time that they can specialize or they can go off onto their own tracks. Start being an apprentice under somebody, apprenticing, doing something, because the more specialized you are, the more money you make, the better you are, the better service you can provide. Not just the more money you make, but first, the better service you can provide to those who you serve, because you have more experience. Excuse me. So the first lesson is that even though my aunts, I don't think it was intentional that they started there and worked their way up, it was a definite plus and asset to them to start working in fast food restaurants, and later, shortly thereafter, working in a country club where they learned a whole lot of stuff. I was able to benefit from a lot of the culture and a lot of things that they learned there. And it just made them better and better over the years. It just caused them to have a wealth of knowledge and experience. And that is a great asset. So starting your kids young, not to just get a job, not to just find a high paying job, but to find exactly what they want to do. Because you do know that the surgeon makes a lot more than the general physician, right? Because he or she is more specialized. They have spent more time, more training. So therefore, that's the first lesson that I hope the launching of Greenhouse teaches you. Start early, and over the years, work your way up. That's another one. Working your way up, being humble, working under people who are greater than you, people who a lot of times they suffered a lot of abuse there. They were very humble, because country clubs, especially in the South, the majority membership is white there. There were a few black members, but very rare, very high class, black people that were there. but mostly it was wealthy white people, and a lot of them were very prejudiced and racist, and they had to humble down a lot. They had very sometimes people would consider it demeaning if you look at it that way. But because these ladies loved what they did, they saw it as an opportunity to deliver outstanding service, and as a result of that, they gained private clients, people who wanted them to go to their houses and do parties or to do this and do that for them. But they had humble spirits and they loved what they were doing. As a matter of fact, one of my aunts that's doing the catering, my aunt Cynthia, said the other day, she said, when you're working hard at something you don't like, it's aggravating or it's stressful. But when you're working hard at something you love, it's called passion. And that was a wonderful quote. They loved it. They really didn't see, they saw the best in it, even though people were treating them bad. They were being demeaned sometimes, but they loved what they were doing. And not only that, they were, building up their toolkit. They were building up their skill set, learning some things that you never would learn at a McDonald's or a Chili's or somewhere like that, because you have to have 5-star, you have to have top of the line when it comes to setting tables, when it comes to which way you serve the food and how stuff is prepared. You're under big time chefs when you're in a country club. So they worked a lot at Doublegate. They worked in other country clubs, but most of their early careers, they spent at Doublegate Country Club, and they learned a lot there. So that's another thing that I hope this launching and the making of this Greenhouse Catering teaches young people, that be humble, get under somebody. And a lot of times you have to, what they say, bite your tongue. Sometimes you have to bite. And I'm not saying by no means am I saying be in what they call Uncle Tom, but you have to humble yourself. And as I heard my uncle say, you have to ease your head out of the lion's mouth. When you're in a situation, you can humble yourself and learn a lot more. As I heard one of my professors say, and I later heard other people say it, you catch more flies with honey than vinegar. I never knew why you wanted to be catching flies, but hey, I guess to get rid of them. I don't know. But humbling yourself, being under the mentorship of somebody when they don't even know they're mentoring you. When you're looking from a distance, my aunts, my mom sitting back from the side, just taking their, going in, waiting tables, serving, breaking down stuff, but all the time learning what the chefs are doing, all the time learning what the banquet coordinators are doing, all the time learning what wealthy people expect and what's the top notch of everything. That's one thing that was wonderful, and I love it. A lot of times they didn't look at it that way because that wasn't their mindset. They were just trained to say, hey, listen, this is a good paying job, because some people did give them good tips. They had good. They also got private parties on the side. But one thing is, they worked hard, and they love to work hard because they were trying to take care of us. It was a situation, they were trying to take care of their kids, other relatives' kids, trying to do their best. And so they say, hey, this is hard work. A lot of them now have a little issues. They've had to have work on their hands and things, because when waiters and waitresses carry trays and stuff like that, these are hardworking women. When I say impeccable work ethic, and I said that in one of my posts, that's what I mean. They don't make them like this anymore. I never, in my generation and every generation younger than me, would ever compare to these women, because I've seen them stand on their feet for 23 hours, for whole days, to serve somebody else, to make sure. Sometimes it was for pay, which is they were getting way less than what they deserved, and the people who were over them, okay, with their name on the business, making the big money, were underpaying them. But I've also seen them do it for relatives. I also seen them do it just so we could have a holiday dinner, just so they could show love to somebody who lost somebody and they want to bring some food over, just so we could have a Christmas party and invite people over, because they love to decorate and put on good food and just have a good time. And that breaking bread is one of the ways or one of the favorite pastimes of all people, all cultures. Breaking bread started all the way back to the Bible. But black, white, whoever, how breaking bread just does something to people and for people. Even in the times of slavery, when they would have dinners after church, even in the times, in the black enclaves before and after segregation, how food just seems to make people feel better. And I've seen them do this hours and hours of hard labor. Okay. Hard labor. When I'm saying I'm tired, and I know I haven't done half as much work as they are, because I'm built necessarily to do, the mental part of things. And that's why I go to school and I go to trainings and stuff, but that's just how they were brought up, to go in and get it done. Okay. I came up with this slogan a couple years ago, because God gave it to me. He said, listen, this is the banner that I have for these women. And I said to myself, they don't work until they're tired. They work until it's done. Okay. Many times when I'm getting ready to clock out, I'll say that again. They don't work until they're tired. They work until they're finished or till the job is done. And I love that. I clap my hands. I salute them. Hats off to them. This is something that they really deserve, to have their own catering business, because I know I've seen it. Not 1, 2, not 3, not 10 times. I mean, over the years. When I say it's been a long time coming, I'm 36 years old, and they were working at, I remember being 3 years old, taking pictures on the grass at Doublegate Country Club because when they worked there. All right. So it's been a long time coming. They've been working for people, okay? And I'll say it, I'll be upfront, and some of you all know it. They've been exploited by people. They've been abused by people, but they did what they had to do as Black women to take care of their families, to take care of other people's families, and to just, and in the meantime, God rewarded them by teaching them stuff that they never had to go step into it. Now, yes, some of them have culinary art training. They have degrees and stuff, and trainings, but it's a wealth of stuff that you will never learn in a formal classroom, that you learn just being in the tutelage of somebody or just standing back watching. When that young barber says, hey, sir, you're the barber, you own this shop, I want to sweep up for you for free. That's another one. Hey, if you have a mentor, somebody you know that's doing what you want to do, offer your services for free. And many people, and it sounds stupid to most people, that's why a lot of people are broke and can't succeed in business. Offer your services for free because you want something from them. They don't want something from you. Hey, sir, let me take you to lunch. But guess what? These ladies, they learn by just watching. By all the time, while you think I got my head down and I'm just doing this, I'm also watching you. I'm also adding to my repertoire. And every time they come and we have parties and things, and you would see them put a different twist on it, because it's things that they're learning from the head chefs. There's things that they're learning from, you know, the different types of equipment they're bringing in there, and stuff that we never knew we would never have known existed, with these ladies growing up on Madison, okay, I think South Madison, and growing up, you know, poor, and growing up with a certain mindset, but just knowing how to work hard. I always say, if we had the work ethic of our mothers and grandmothers, those of us who are in our 30s or older, with the opportunities we have now, the opportunities we have, okay, and the work ethic they have, man, unstoppable. That's why I'm glad that God has finally granted us this, has put me in this seat to do this, because as some of you all know, when a door closed for me, I tried to go through some other doors, and God said, no, this is what I had planned for you. This is what you want to do. Don't be afraid. This gives you an opportunity. So as I've coined the phrase now, the door closed and God opened the window and I flew out. It was time for me and for us to fly. So Greenhouse Catering has been a long time coming. I mean, decades. All of these ladies are in their 60s and from their early 20s. Okay. Well, actually in their teenage years, starting to work in food service, and then in their early 20s, starting to work in catering and that kind of thing. And doing it for years and years, kind of with your head down, humbly just working hard, because that's what you love to do, because that's what you have been given. It's on the inside of you to give your best, to do your best. And when your hands are gifted, when God has gifted your hands, it's no way, okay? It's no way that somebody can stop you. Your work is going to show up. People seek them out. But of course, they had the skill set, but not a lot of times with the mindset and not the faith, and not have certain things to go together. And so a lot of times they just were exploited for the great job that they do it. And it's time out for that. God has blessed it. He has opened this door. I received confirmation from a business partner, received confirmation from a pastor, just saying that this is the time, this is season, everything's coming together. And guess what? As my pastor was talking about today in service, it's a time coming in the near future. It's now, okay, where the results in your life are going to show so much that your enemies or the people against you will hate you, but they can't do anything about it. You can hate, but you can't do anything about it, because the time is now. They've put in, okay, they've put in the work. They've planted the seeds. They've done it for courtesy. They've done it for menial wages. They've done it just to be doing it. And God says, hey, I see you. I saw you all those years. Now's the time is right for you. I want you to come and walk into that land that flows with milk and honey that I promised you. And you know about the people, when they walked into the land of milk and honey, they had to do some fighting first. And so God says, you planted the seeds. You've done some fighting. You've done that. I want you to go forth and have what's yours. People that you thought were friends, people that you knew were enemies, people start falling off, and people have certain things, but it's a wonderful thing. Okay. It's a wonderful thing. So just going into it, you'll be surprised. And some of you might say, I'm not surprised. And you might type on here and say, I'm not surprised that the day and age we live in, that working in this and me now managing the catering company, as well as my own personal education business, Milk and Honey Success Education, you see when you work in business and you get to work with groups of people, and you see that racism is still real, that there are certain people who is alive and well, certain people who believe that a black person who is a great cook, who is a great decorator, is a wonderful organizer and banquet coordinator, how dare them work for have their own business? They should always be working under somebody white. The white person should always be the person with the business. The white person should be always the person making all the money and exploiting these gifted hands. And you know what? It's wonderful. It's great, because this is what I say. I don't care what you call me. I don't care what you say, as long as God calls me blessed. And that's what I'm saying for the business, for Greenhouse Catering and Consultation, for my aunts, my mom, my family. If God has called us blessed, so regardless of the people you thought were friends, regardless of the people the naysayers, the people who don't want to support you, who will say, yeah, go out here and do that. Go ahead and do that. And then when it's time to support you, they don't, because of either greed, because of either, fear, because of, jealousy, whatever it is. All of that is fine. I'm not going to spend too much time talking on the negative. I'm talking on the positive, the people who know your service and who will write the check at the drop of a hat, black and white people. Because as I said before in my own personal Facebook Lives about my business, everybody's not broke. Okay. Everybody doesn't have a broke mindset. You have people who know that there's a difference between cheap and inexpensive. You have people who know that you get what you pay for. Okay. There are people who are still on the mindset of devil eggs and finger sandwiches, who want to pay $5-6 a person, but they want to have all this stuff. And those are the kind of people. There's another caterer out there for you. Okay. There's a difference between cheap and inexpensive. Okay. You get what you pay for. There's quality. When I say, and if you've seen the logo, if you've seen any of the posts, I say it's 6-star catering. It's 6-star catering, because I know for a fact there's substance. I know it tastes good. I know without the shadow of a doubt. And it's not just me talking. I have witnesses. I mean, people on the school boards and people in, big businesses, people who live in mansions. I know it tastes good. I know it looks good. I know the hands that are gifted and how they're gifted. And I also know that it's impeccable service. I know that it to be true, if you have never heard in the Bible of people being blessed with the gift of helps, or the helps, or the gift of hospitality, I know that there's a set of hands, at least one set of hands that's gifted with that, with anticipating people's needs, not just meeting your needs, but anticipating, knowing what you need before you even need it, because she's worked in this for so long. My Aunt Vicky, not only did she spend several decades at least a couple of decades at Doublegate Country Club, also has worked at Stonebridge, also has worked at Delfosky Island, which is the wealthy island, the island of the wealthy, in Hilton Head, worked at the Harrisburg Hilton, just worked in so many places, worked for hospitality and Coca-Cola. Okay, in Atlanta, just done some great things. I know how well all these women do what they do, how they can make it work, how they can put together something, having that old school work ethic. Okay. And all the new school and all the, upper echelon stuff that they've learned and they've gleaned from working in these different places and under these different people, under head caterers who own businesses and exploit many people, under head people who, and like I said, you can see the prejudice, racist undertone. A lot of their bosses did not like me because I'm from a different school. I'm from a new school that I believe that I'm the righteousness of God. I'm the royalty of God, and whatever He says I have it. It doesn't, as long as God calls this girl blessed, you can say whatever you want to say. And a lot of people, their bosses, a lot of the people that were over them, and they would call them my girls and this and that. And you can tell, there was that, and they could feel it. But of course, they were doing what they had to do to, as they say, make ends meet, doing what they had to do to learn and grow, but to also pay the bills. They knew they were being underpaid. They knew that they were the bread and butter of the business itself. Okay. That usually the people who do the most work at the bottom, receiving the less pay, are the ones who actually run the business. They're the ones in the trenches. They're the ones who deal with the customers. And yes, give me a like. Please share this. Please like it, because not only am I introducing this business to you all, but a lot of people already know what my family is capable of. You've either been to a party at one of our houses, you've been to an event that we had for ourselves or for somebody else in honor of somebody, or a private party. You already know how bad these girls, or how great these girls are, okay, or how great these women are. Excuse me, because I just said that we've had their bosses calling them girls, and you know what some of that stuff means, and they knew also, but they were just doing what they had to do. And God says, I saw you all those years when you cried, when you stayed up, when you worked, you know, you pulled the load and you got the pennies, you got the scraps on the table, and you were just happy to bring food home to your family and get a little pay so you could bring Christmas gifts. I've seen you. God says, I've seen you. And guess what? Now it's time to have your own. And I believe it's plenty of money to be made for everybody who's supposed to be there. Okay. There are certain caterers that won't take a certain race. They won't take if your budget is too low. They won't take if your skin is too dark. And guess what? That leaves room for another caterer. And it's a lot of people, like I said, who are into sandwiches, little sandwiches, and chicken wings and deviled eggs. And we do chicken wings, okay, and we will do some deviled eggs as well. But those people who are into the old school stuff that you can do for yourself when you want to pay $5 or $6 a head, okay, and then you know, have some Kool-Aid and that kind of stuff. And there's a caterer for you as well. But this is 6-star service, and I'm not saying that we're going to be charging out the woo-ha, because like I said, there are people here that if your dollar figure isn't a certain amount, I know caterers here, okay, from working with, you know, with my mom, people my mom and my aunts have worked with. If your budget is in a certain figure, they're not even going to talk to you. They're not even going to call you back. If they hear your voice on the voicemail and it sounds like you are of a certain persuasion, they're not going to deal with you. And so I don't have anything against those. What I'm saying is it leaves opportunity for a 6-star caterer. We are a minority group, okay, African Americans, but 6-star catering, substance, style, and service like you have never seen. And I know people, if you've been to an event, if you've seen something, if you had something, say something on here, okay? Don't just like it. Say something you went to. I've had book signings. We've had Christmas parties. I had somebody come to a Christmas party at my house and say, hey, man, I have never been to a party like this. It seems like you all should be like on the Housewives of whatever city. That's why I feel like I am right now, because you guys have, you know, the smoked salmon, cream cheese, pastries, and you have the spinach dip, and you have this, and just look at how the bar is set up, and look at, and people are just floored, because all people aren't broke, and all people don't have broke mindsets. Some people know what quality is and what it costs. You don't go to a Mercedes dealership and try to negotiate with Honda prices. And of course, I've already discussed that Hondas are great cars, Lexuses, Acuras, and a lot of wealthy people drive those, okay, instead of driving the big cars, and they invest the difference. But I'm just saying, I'm using it for an example. If you truly want and deserve and say, hey, I want a Mercedes, you're not going to go there and try to give them, you know, Honda Accord prices. It's not going to work. And so you get what you pay for. We have no problem, okay? We have no problem going to certain stores, and guess what? Let me say this here, okay? There are black people, okay, who are racist as well. Black people who believe that because we are black, or because we're in a certain situation, that we should charge this for our services, when in reality, they'll write a check to a white caterer in a minute, no questions asked, with so many zeros behind it. And guess what? That white caterer will take that check, okay, and underpay the black staff, okay, and live wonderful. And I'm not racist. I love, matter of fact, my pastor's white, okay. A lot of my church family is white. I have white friends. I have people who have taken me under their wing, will show me things to get my investment straight. White, Indian, okay, people that I've been with all over the world. So I'm not racist. I'm just telling you the facts. And we live in Albany, Georgia, okay, Southwest Georgia, and it's real all over the country. Okay, there are certain people that they will think that we're supposed to accept something of a much lower cost because we're this, but with no problem. It's legit, it's legitimate, or it's standard, or it's it's right if it's white. Okay, and that's the kind of thing we've been dealing with. But God says, hey, forget about all that. I'm just telling you how it is, and telling you, and some of you know it to be true. Please give me some feedback. And there are people today that, and I know it. Sometimes you can see it in their body language. Sometimes they say it. You can see it in how they react to you. There are people, black and white, who don't accept me for who I am because I walk in what God has called me to walk in. I walk in it confidently and boldly. I lead my family now confidently and boldly, because guess what? This is another lesson that I hope, a blessing that I hope you can get from the launching of Greenhouse Catering. Okay, like I said, these women they were born with the skill set, okay, and they just honed it. Because you can always get better. You can be born with raw talent, but you always can get better. That's the fatal mistake that and this is a lesson in a lesson, because that's not where I was going. But the fatal mistake that a lot of people make is they say, hey man, I'm gifted. I was born, I can shoot a ball, I can run with the ball, I can do hair, and they leave it there. They don't take it, they don't go to any more schooling. Okay, and then the average person who was not born with this skill but are humble and willing to learn, they surpass that person with raw talent, because raw talent can always get better. Okay, God says study and show yourself approved. All right. Yes, he's speaking of the word. He's also speaking of principles. You can learn. You always can get better. Okay, you can always get better. And the thing is, they were born with the skill set, and they just honed it over the years by humbly working under and beside people, mostly under people. Okay. And they got better and better. They had the skill set. They had the work. The physical part of it is there, but as far as their heart and their head, okay, not being so much strong in the faith, when they were, as they say, drugged to church when they were young, a lot of them vowed, hey, when I go back to church, when I grow up, I'm never going back to church because, this and this, or they got wounded in the church, or for some reason they were not as strong as they were in the faith as I was blessed to be, started when I was very young, when I accepted my calling in the ministry and just got in the word and just wanted to learn and that kind of thing, but not strong in the faith and not having the mindset, because a lot of people, especially in their generation, those people who grew up in the 50s, the 40s, the 60s and younger, 70s and younger, grew up with, hey, you just keep your head down, you work hard, you submit, you're subservient to white people. They give you a chance, great, and you get under them and you work and you be good to them, and just keep your head down. Don't ask for anything. You can borrow some money to get into debt as far as buying clothes and cars and stuff, but it's going to be hard for you to get a house, hard for you to get a business loan, and this is reality, okay? So don't even ask. You just kind of stay down, humble, get what you can, and, save up and be good, work hard, and, just be a good old girl, but a good old boy. But guess what? I came up in a different way. God said, hey, I want you to be different. And I learned something. I went to an HBCU, okay, Spelman College, known for making women leaders, Morehouse men leaders. Okay, I see my Morehouse brother on here, Mr. Sturtles. But I came in a different era. Not only just the education, but God set me aside early and taught, and I'm glad I received and heard from him early. So not only did I learn education in college at Spelman, at Troy, but also learning how to invest, getting around people, like I said, white and black, a lot of white people saying, I'll show you how to do it. Some of them charging, some of them I just met at workshops in the same, boat I was in, and just saying, hey, and like I said, they're closer to me. They've done more for me than people in my own family, people in my own skin color. So I don't care about color. All I care about is truth. The truth goes through beyond any color. The principles work for anybody and everybody who's willing to work them. So the thing is this, the mindset was not there. They didn't have the courage. They didn't have the faith. They didn't have the knowledge to learn about failing forward, to say, hey, even if I try it, if we try to get out here in this business and it doesn't work, hey, it's not a failure. It's just a learning opportunity. We learn how not to do it. We got to regroup and do it again. How people, like I learned from white people, that they have many of businesses that fail, and it's not in their name. It's incorporated or, structured a certain way. So all they do is write it off and start another business. Okay. That type of thing that I learned, and I share with them that, hey, you got to do something. The opportunity is there for you. God is giving you opportunity. Take it, step out there and go do it. Please share this. Please invite somebody. Please share it on your page. Please like it, because this is good stuff. Not only am I telling you about this business so that you can be blessed, some of the things that are going to be coming up, opportunities that you will have to bless and be blessed, but also different lessons that God just taught us over the years of making this business and actually finally launching it. I'm super excited. I just want to take a praise break. Just want to say thank you, God. I'm grateful. I'm humble. I know you've opened this door for us. I know you've opened this window for us to jump out and fly. I'm grateful for all the people, the resources that have been put in place, the people who partnered with us, the board at Victory Tabernacle, my pastor Eddie Adams at Victory Tabernacle, who said it's prayer answered when I came to him and wanted to talk to him about some things, who help us do certain things that it's wonderful. I just want to say thank God for every person, every opportunity, every long night and day that my family member, my mom, my auntie Vicky, my mom Charlene, my auntie had over the years, every time they were hurt physically, every time they were hurt emotionally by somebody saying something to them, and just biting their tongue so they could do. I'm grateful. I'm thankful, God. And I promise that we are blessed, and it's going to happen. It's happening now. Okay. So, but going back to the lessons, they had they have gifted hands, but didn't have the mindset or the let's say didn't have the gall or the courage to go to try and get something started, or to try to partner with somebody else. And yes, there was times when one particular person tried to partner with another particular organization. I'm not going to say anything, but you would have thought it would have been a better situation. But once again, people that you never would have expected to try to exploited her, and it was discouraging and it was a failure. Okay. But now is the time. People are in the right place, resources in the right place, God is with us. God is in us. God is for us. I promise from this day forward, it's blessed. We're only going to grow and get better. There are people who already know, who will already recommend us, who will already write a check in a minute and say, hey, I already know what you're capable of. Okay, that's all you're charging versus the person who is going to try. And trust me, I know about negotiating. I know I talk about it in my that's a principle of the wealth. But there are some things that are bottom line. Yes, you can say, okay, we'll throw this in, and let me give you another little nugget, okay? Another little nugget is this. If you're a salesperson, if you have any kind of good or service that you're providing, okay? Or even if you just work for somebody, all right, and you're negotiating price, don't try to bring your price down. What you do is try to add more service to exceed what they're actually paying. You add more service, more value, as they say, more value. Don't try to get me to lower my price. I've said this when it relates to my program, things that I teach that make people tens of thousands, millions of dollars. It's not that I'm too high, it's that you don't have enough money. And when you're ready to deal with the best and you're ready to get what you pay for, come back to me. And hopefully I'll still be the same price. But as I'm adding more value and I'm getting more demand, it's probably going up. Not because I'm greedy, but because I know the law of reciprocity of reaping and sowing. It's only a poor person mentality that wants something for nothing. And there are people who come to us, want things for free, want to say, okay, yes, I'm telling you the blood, sweat, and tears that my aunts went through. I'm telling you, they don't know how long you have to stand up on your feet when you're catering. The running around you have to do. They don't, or they do know, but they just don't care. Okay. You don't go to a teacher's job and try to Jew them down on their prices. You don't go to the police officer. So the Bible says a man is worthy of his hire. When I say we're 6-star service, that means you get substance. It tastes good. Style, it looks good. Okay. Service, meaning we accommodate and anticipate in your needs. Okay. Now, a lot of people pay for service. Just means catering means you don't have to do the dishes. You don't have to worry about the food. Somebody else worries about that. And that's all they pay for. There's no substance there. There's no style there. And I know it because I go to events and just for people say they have a caterer. Sometimes it's the lowest price that you get for what you pay for. I'm not always looking for the lowest price in things I'm buying. I'm looking for the best quality. Okay. And I want the best quality, the value for my money, which is why, like I said, wealthy people wear polo, but they don't buy it from dealers. They buy it from TJ Maxx because they know polo is going to look nice. It's going to have style, but it's also going to have substance. It should, last pretty long, but I want it still at the best value. Okay, you get what I'm saying? There's a difference between cheap and inexpensive. I don't want anything cheap. I don't want anything cheap. Okay, that's a poor person's mentality. When you buy the cheap roll of toilet paper, but you use twice or 4 times as much, you don't get it, okay? Or you buy the cheap shoes and you're replacing them 2 or 3 times over because all you see is the price tag. That's a poor person's mentality. And those are not principles we're going to govern this business by because that's not of God. And that's not the way I do things. And I've seen success the way I've done it and the people I've been around that taught me how to do that, the business mentorships I've been under and the mentors and masterminds that I'm in now. I know the principles and the laws of business. They're universal laws. They're biblical principles. And I'll be teaching a lot of that January 27th, Saturday, January 27th at the free financial empowerment workshop at Victory Tabernacle. So it's free. Okay. And I'll get into that later. But hey, if I get into it later, this is about Greenhouse right here. But there's a difference. And so there are people who want something for nothing. They see everything we do, and these are the people that's always complimenting. Oh, this is so good. It looks so nice. Da, da, da. But then you give them a price or you tell them something, and guess what? Then they shy away. Oh, wait a minute. It's good. It's good to negotiate. But when I'm telling you this is the best possible price I can give you, and you know that it's worth it, you're not going to go to the Mercedes dealership and say, hey, all I have is $15,000. They're going to say, okay, see you bye. Go to the Kia dealership. Come back here and that's how I am. My aunts did not have that courage because they were humble. They were brought up in the world. You get what you get. You take what you get. Okay. They were brought up in that world where black people are getting stepped on. You're humble. Don't try to own anything. You work for the people who own stuff, even though it's your food. Okay. You're cooking. You're doing the design. You're the right hand man. You actually run the business, but they get the big money. They get the big recognition. And I've seen it. I've hurt and I've been wounded for my family, and this is why I'm so grateful as to what I do, where I learned and I was able to learn something in options investing where I could retire at the age 35. Thank you, Lord. And I could spend time managing this business because it's high time. These ladies are in their 60s. I want them to enjoy, the fruits of their labor. I want them to have their own, to own their own, to have make the big bucks for themselves versus making it for somebody else and they get the crumbs and their back is hurting, their feet are hurting. They've been up for 16 hours. They've been up for 23 hours. Okay. I've seen it. Okay. Leaving at 5 a.m. because this caterer has a function and coming back at 2 or 3 a.m. coming back. I mean, I've seen it. And a lot of times they don't complain. They're so happy when they come back, they're debriefing. What about this? Look how this happened. And that's how I know they love what they do. They're talking about the event. They're not complaining about how tired they are. They're talking about how this went and how this could have been better. And oh man, this nice house we went to, and working for these people and just saying, oh, one day I'm going to have this, just all the time dreaming. But like I said, you know what? A dream, okay, is a dream. It's going to stay a dream unless you turn it into a goal and put a map behind a massive action plan. So that's where I came into play. I'm so blessed to be able to learn a lot of the things that I've learned and be in this position now to have walked away and being able, and now I trade for a living. I do what I love. I love what I do. I teach and I trade for a living independently. And I have the time now to manage and help these ladies to manage our business, Greenhouse Catering. It's been a long time coming. No, I'm not going to break into Sam Cooke. I wish I could, because that's how I feel. I can feel it right now. It's been a long time coming, for years and years. And I mean decades of these women putting on, if you've ever been to our house for Easter, if you've ever been to our house for Christmas, okay, Christmas party or Christmas dinner, or on a Sunday afternoon when people come and say, y'all are cooking like it's Thanksgiving, where they're cooking 3 or 4 meats. My auntie has made 3 or 4 cakes. My mom has made it homemade banana pudding with the meringue on it from scratch. Best banana pudding you will ever have in your freaking life, I promise you. Okay, from scratch. They have oxtails. They might have fried chicken, baked chicken, ham, turkey. I'm telling you, on just a Sunday afternoon, because they just want us to get together and do this. And they do it for the love of it. And that's why when people do it for the love of it, you're going to see it. You're going to feel it. You can taste the food and see. When people throw things together because they're just trying to get paid, okay, you'll know that as well. What is 6-star service again when it comes to catering? Substance, tastes good, style, looks good, they can present it well. And service, okay? You got top of the line people who know what they're doing. They know that they're not supposed to bring you your cup with their hands around the rim. Come on, people. Shouldn't that be common sense? How many people have ever been at a freaking restaurant and the little girl comes with her hand around, and there's no lid here, her hand around the rim, okay? Or you offer the condiments ahead of time because you know if you got some steak, you're probably going to need steak sauce. And I'm taking away from your meal, having to run and go back. And I'm not, all this silly stuff that these people have learned over the years are just common sense because they were gifted to do this. Okay, so that gives me a little segue right there to say we will be offering service seminars. We will be offering things to give back to the community, to the community through the chamber and things like that. Seminars on helping people to do better service. Okay. We will be offering such events as that. Okay, we will be doing community events or hosting events where you are welcome to just come in. Okay, just to pay and come in and eat. It doesn't have to be a function that you booked or sponsored. We'll be doing all this type of stuff because, hey, there are so many ideas that are out there that God has given us. There are so many opportunities. Okay, a lot of wealthy people get wealthy because of opportunities, and I'm going back into wealth principles and mindset because that's what I do. That's what I teach. So you'll see that a lot. But there are so many opportunities, and people who are fearful. There are people who are fearful right now, people who were so-called friends, people who were so-called employers, okay, people who they worked with in the past that are trembling right now. And I can tell because they're doing certain things, they're saying certain things, but hey, when God is for us, who? All I got to say is who, okay? And so that's the thing. There's plenty of opportunities out there for everyone who God has placed. Everyone has their own niche, or niche, as some people say, where you fit in. There are certain people who know us, who are going to support us, who will recommend us because they know the hearts of the people and they know the hands of the people behind this business. There are some people, like I said, who we will deal with because it's certain caterers that won't take you if your skin is too dark or your budget is too low. Okay, and I'm just being honest. I'm just being real with you. The truth will make you free. Not set you, it'll make you free. It'll make you do some things differently when you truly know the truth about what's going on. Okay, set means I open the gate and you might not go out of it. Make means I'm gonna pick you up and put you outside of the gate. You have no choice. But so a lot of people misquote that the truth will make you free. Okay, and so despite all the racism, despite people looking down on them, despite opportunities, we tried to do this. I think back in maybe 2013, I was still working full time as a public school educator and coach. As well as doing my type of teaching and things on the side, seminars and that type of thing. Tried to get together, but still boggled down with that old mindset. Still working in jobs and frustrated. A lot of they could not get together. My aunts, they could not get together. They still were kind of afraid, kind of frustrated, didn't have the commitment. But guess what? Life has come to that. Life has happened, and they're to the point now where they know the intent that people had for them, the ill intent that people had for them. Were exploiting them all the time, using their good services, their good name. And guess what? There are so many people in this city, in this local area, that know them, from starting all the way back from Doublegate up through. Some of them worked at Mary Acres, Stonebridge, back when Radium was here, Radium Country Club. They've been doing this for years. They have the experience. There are many people who know them, love them, support them. On the other hand, there are people who are afraid, who are angry because they didn't take the initiative to do something like this, who we would love to have a part of the team because we know they have good work ethic, they're good, but it's the mindset. You can have the skill set without the mindset, and the mindset without the skill set, you're going to just be upset. You got to get your mind right. Your hands may be right. Your hands might be, I say this a lot, your hands might be the bomb at what you do, whether you're a cosmetologist, whether you're a cook, you're a caterer, you're a mechanic, but if your mindset is not right, the skill set without the mindset will leave you upset, and vice versa. Okay, so you have to have that right. But I'm just grateful that, like I said, back in 2013, we still weren't ready. That's actually when I incorporated the business, and we named it Greenhouse Catering and Consultation. That's why when you see on our email, greenhouse at gccgreenhousecatering.com, it's kind of long. But we started out as Greenhouse Catering and Consultation because some people wanted us to consult with us. We couldn't necessarily do things with them as far as, because we didn't have licensing and that kind of stuff. But they would come to us for certain things. And then there are some people who are sneaky. They don't know anything about food, what things go together, and how to service and that kind of stuff. So they'll come to us and ask for our opinion, and then they'll take that menu because they never knew what to do, what kind of meat or what to put together. They'll take that menu and try to do it themselves, and it's fine if you want to do it yourself, or go to another caterer. And that's when God gave me the wisdom and said, hey, if they want to do that, then you're consulting them. You charge them for consultation fee, and that way you haven't lost anything if they go somewhere else, because people try to be sneaky. There are some people who want something for nothing. Okay. And I talked about that in the previous post this week. I talk about it all the time when I'm teaching from my company, Milk and Honey Success Education. That's a welfare mentality. That's what welfare is. You do nothing and you get a check. Okay. That's an impoverished mentality when people want stuff for free, when people want to, try to get something for nothing. And there are plenty of people who come to us with that same type of mentality. And a lot of it is because, like I said, they have no problem doing business with the white person, but because it's us, they feel like we should take less or we should be less. But I'm telling you, it's top of the line. Okay. As a matter of fact, some caterers that they worked for, they wouldn't look as good as they look, those caterers, unless these women were behind the scenes making things freaking happen. You hear me? I'm telling you, you've just seen a small snippet of some pictures, and some of these pictures are kind of old, of my book signing, of my bridal shower, of my daughter's first birthday party, different things like that. That's just about this much of a photo album that's this big from over the years. I mean, for years and years and years, things that they have been doing. These girls and I say girls right now because they've been putting it on since they were young, since they started. When they worked at Doublegate Country Club, they would see it, okay, come home and replicate it, okay, and make it even better. Gifted hands, impeccable work ethic, okay. So much experience, a wealth of knowledge, humble, okay. They're making sure that you are getting, okay, the best of the best, because that's what they do, okay? And guess what? Because of that, people seek us out. People say, hey, listen, this is great. I've never tasted anything. I've never seen a party set up like this. Thank you for just having us over. We want to do business with you. Listen, humble yourself if you know it's something you want to do. All right. And I said, I did this a long time ago when I first launched my book, Better Than Average. Okay. The Success Principles book. Get that. Okay. Go on my website and get it, because you're going to get it for a cheaper price, a less expensive price than Amazon. But when I was launching Better Than Average, I did a little video and I talked about from wishes to dishes to fishes. And I know fishes is not correct, but I used it play on words. Going from wishes to dishes to fishes. Wishes meaning you want something, and then you turn that not into a wish but to a goal. So you start working, and you go to dishes, meaning let's say you want to be a a restaurateur, you want to own restaurants, you start out at the lowest level. Usually you're going to start out somewhere. And when you talk about Alonzo Herndon, and a lot of people from Atlanta know that black guy who made so much money, and Herndon Homes in Atlanta was named for him. And you talk about CJ Walker, you talk about a lot of these people who started out at the bottom, okay, of a particular industry. They learned that they like the industry, or they knew already they liked the industry. They started out. You want to own a chain of restaurants. You start out as the dishwasher. You start out getting in where you can get in, where they'll let you work. And while you're washing dishes, you're watching the manager. You're watching the sous chef. You're watching the cook. You're watching, and then you start getting promoted up the line. But every time you get promoted, you bring along with you the skills from your previous job. So now on any given day, you own the restaurant, somebody calls in and you're in a crunch and you got to deliver to these people because that's what you do. And you have wit, you have whatever it takes. That's acronym WIT. You can get over there and wash dishes. You can get over there and cook because you've come up through the ranks and you learned. You were humble. You kept your head down, as they say, just watching and learning, being humble, being patient, growing along the way, but always bringing your toolbox and bringing that same toolbox from the previous job, just building it up. That's how you make it happen. And like I said, that's what these women have been doing, for each one of them, for 40, 50 years plus. Okay. So Greenhouse Catering and Consultation, 2013, we had the consultation. We were putting a little money in the pot trying to do this, but of course their mindset wasn't there. So a lot of things defeated them. A lot of things they gave up too easily. And I wasn't in a position now to force things. I didn't know a lot. I knew about business. I had small businesses then. Some of them failed, but that's called failing forward. All right. You do it and you learn from it. It's better. Okay. Most people, when they die, their regrets are not what they did. It's what they didn't do. Okay. Not that you did something and it didn't work out. That's great. That's a learning opportunity. Okay. As one of my mentors said, there's no failure, just feedback. Okay. But they didn't have that mindset. They're afraid. What if this happens? And then people telling them, you all are so good, you need to start a restaurant. And these are the same people that won't support you. So being wise, you don't jump out and start a restaurant. That's a lot of overhead. But hey, we can do a catering thing. And hey, who knows? God might turn it into a restaurant. But you crawl before you walk. You turn into something. Just like the sole proprietor starts out. If he's doing great and it's wonderful and everybody's loving it, then Mark Zuckerberg, you open it up to the world. That's how he went from millionaire to billionaire in a few seconds when he did the IPO, the initial public offering. But he was successful as a sole proprietor before he ever opened it up with the stock market. So you crawl before you walk. You know, a lot of times free advice is the most expensive. Free advice is the most expensive. Everybody has an opinion. Everybody wants to give you feedback, especially broke people. People don't have a lot going on in their life, so they want to give you advice. People who want to discourage you because they won't try anything. And so go ahead, y'all start a restaurant. And guess what? You see how many restaurants I see closing down every day that are in business for less than a year? A lot of overhead. You got people that won't support. You have people that are jealous. You have people that won't buy from a certain persuasion of people, whether you're a woman, whether you're black, whether you're whatever, okay? So it's a lot to do that. And when you know your resources, you work with what you have. And God says you're faithful over little, I'll make you rule over few, or over many. Okay, if you're faithful over few, I'll make you rule over many. So that might not even be our lot in life to have a restaurant. Okay, but you can have a thriving catering business because they love to do that. And they're older in age, but they still have that vigor. They're still alive because they love doing it. Now, if you don't love what you're doing, you're going to get tired when you're 25. I loved being in a classroom as a classroom teacher, but I reached all my goals, and then now Greenhouse Catering needs me. Milk and Honey Success Education needs me. There are people who need to be retiring, okay, at 35 or whatever age in 3 to 6 years. So that's why I'm glad that I do what I do, because this is another lesson. I'm able to teach people about getting their mindset straight, how you can have that skill set, that have the gifted hands, but you're afraid to go out and launch. You're afraid to, you're thinking about the negative versus the positive. Guess what? And people might doubt me here because they're saying, hey, we live in the South. There's just as many helpful, loving, well-wishing white people as there are angry, prejudiced, racist, sour-faced white people. Okay. Guess what? There are just as many well-wishing, well-to-do, ready to write the check, ready to support happy black people, just as many as there are, or even more, than the people who are naysayers, who are thinking bad about us, who are wishing that it was them, because you know what jealousy is, right? It's love and hate at the same time. They love what they see going on, but they hate this not them doing it. Okay. When I saw that definition of jealousy, it was freaking awesome. Jealousy is love and hate at the same time. And That's all the definition said, but this is how I processed it. People may love what you're doing, but they hate that it's you doing it. They hate that that they didn't take the opportunity. And I had a lady tell she wasn't jealous. She was a wise old lady, and I was grateful that she shared. But I started a t-shirt business when I was like 22. Okay, with Christian slogans on there. And she said, you know what? I had this idea, but I sat back on it, and now I see somebody else doing it. I wish I had. And that's how a lot of people are. They wish they had, or they wish they don't have the gall to do it, but they wish they could join up with you. And hey, this is a segue. We're going to be looking for people. Okay. Like I said, I have these women are the best at what they do, and they have to train somebody to do it under them. Okay. Because like I said, I do the business, I do the paperwork, I do the negotiating. I'm not really into manual labor like that. Okay. So, but there's some people who love to do this. God says you are worthy of your hire. He says your gift will make room for you and bring you before breaking you. He says he's gifted everyone in the body. There's somebody who loves to ride on the back of the truck to collect trash. Okay. Nothing wrong with it. It's just not for me. Okay. And we need it in this society. I wouldn't want to live without my garbage man. Okay. There's somebody who loves to fix my car. There's somebody who loves to do what you might hate to do. And that's how God created it. So there are some people that we already know, people who are interested. We already know people who have volunteered at the church with us. We know people who are interested, and this opportunities. Not only will we be serving the community through doing workshops and things like that, we also will be serving the community by providing jobs. That's one great thing about having a business. You can help people not only with their mindset by pouring into them while you're working alongside them or setting standards for them to meet, to be a part of you, but you also can create opportunities for people to feed their family, create opportunities for people to be better, to be greater, to add more value to their own lives and to the world. So listen, I know on Sunday evening, a lot of people like to unwind it, and this is educational. It's not like it takes any work to watch this, but I will respect the fact that you say, you know, I'm not on live. I wouldn't do this, but please share this, share it on your page, like it. I pray that people will go back and watch it. I know it's a lot of people going to be watching it, that the people who are the naysayers, the people who are angry, the people who are, how dare them step out on their own. How dare Charlene, Vicky, and Cynthia, after all these years of being exploited by people, using their talent and paying them the crumbs, how dare they go out and get their own freaking business? Black women don't do that. Not something legitimate where they're saying it's 6-star service. Okay, it's supposed to be bologna sandwiches and deviled eggs and Cheetos and Kool-Aid. How dare them display all this nice stuff and say that, you know, they're 6-star. How dare them go out and do their own thing and have faith and step out and let God bless them? How dare, listen, okay? Our offices are at 3250 Sylvester Road. We are Greenhouse Catering and Consultation at Victory Tabernacle Church. Our office and our facility is connected to Victory Tabernacle. I want to give a shout out and a thanks to my pastor, Eddie Adams, okay, my assistant pastor, Dennis Eccles, the board at Victory, okay, the board that voted, the board that talked to me, and gave us a chance. I just want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to everybody who has supported over the years, who have given us encouraging words, who have come to our functions, our events, who have said, hey, I want you to do a private party for us. I want you to do this, this, and that on our own private property. I want you to do this. I just want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to God. I just want to say that. You can reach us at 229-894-2069. You also can reach us at Greenhouse at gccgreenhousecatering.com. I know it's long, but that's a part of our website and everything. So you can reach us. We have business cards available now. Well, the beginning of the week, I'll be passing them because a lot of people have been asking for them. You can come by the office. Okay, you can set an appointment with us and meet us at the office at 3250 Sylvester Road. But please, I want your feedback. You can say something. You can give me a like. You can give me the share. You can share it because it's really not about me. It's about my mom, Charlene Green, my aunt Vicky Green, my aunt Cynthia Anderson, and what they deserve. It's been a long time coming. It's been a long time coming. I've seen them hurt. I've seen them, but also just be joyful because they are grateful to be able to do what they do, and that's wonderful. I say it all the time when I'm doing Facebook Lives about my training, my success and achievement training, and stock options trading. I do what I love. I love what I do and get paid very well to do it. And pay is not always in money, but I'm grateful for that as well. But just getting people's feedback to say, you changed my life. When I told you all before that the lady said she's a single mom and she just, reach the peak of earning $10,000 a month and tithing $1,000. When I say I have a person that said I just send in my letter to resign from my part-time job. When I have a person, I mean, I could go on, but when I have people say, hey, I've been praying for somebody like you that lives in this area that I can be around, that I can fellowship with, because it's not a lot of people with that same mindset, and you have to, okay? You need a team to get your dream. You got to have people that's sharpening you. You got to be in rooms where people are challenging you, not when you're the big fish in the small pond. You got to be in rooms where you're the small fish. Everybody in there is making more than you. Everybody's in there doing more than you, because you're learning, you're growing, you're stretching. As I was telling my teen cash flow group yesterday when we met for the first time, the teen cash flow game competition, we met for the first time yesterday. I was telling them about how my little daughter Richland, she's 17 months now, and she did it yesterday. We went to Arlington, to my husband's hometown, to his grandfather's 90th birthday. And when she's around big kids, okay, kids that are 4, 5, 6, 3, okay, she doesn't know that she's small. She's just running around she's falling down, getting knocked down, but she wants to, she won't let me hold her. She wants to go out there and fall down again. She wants to run out. She doesn't know that she's small. And if you've ever seen kids who grow up with older brothers and sisters, they grow up quicker. They start learning to walk and talk faster than you would normally think, because they're being challenged. They're reaching, so that they're not left behind while the other kids are running around. They don't want to be here trying to crawl, so they're learning. And that's the thing, like, you have to get around different people. I'm so blessed that I was able to get around people to build my skill set and my mindset and come back and help my family. So whether you support it or not, we're succeeding. We are flourishing. We are exceeding expectations. God is making this a wonderful year. Starting in 2018, this is the best year ever. We're going to be in profit. I don't believe in professing that, when you start a new business, the first 2 years, are you going to be in the negative? Nah, I don't believe that. It didn't happen for my personal business. I'm not accepting that for Greenhouse, my family business. Greenhouse Catering and Consultation. So there are many people who say, call me, I'm going to call you, I'm going to get this kind of stuff. It's okay. You don't owe me anything. You don't have to say anything when you see me, okay? Let your fingers do the talking. If you want to do something, we will sit down with you. But other than that, we won't feel bad if you just say, hey, congratulations, or you don't say anything, okay? And, use those words for something else. But the making of Greenhouse Catering has been a long time coming, but it's due season. As my pastor said, it's not just DUE season, it's DO season, time to do some things. So we're out here. Please, I know a lot of people are going to go back and watch this, because Sunday they may be taking the day off from Facebook, which is good. You need to disconnect. And that's something I talk about sometimes when I'm talking about Milk and Honey Success Education. So the reason why I'm able to do this now for my family, help my family, is because I was able to retire from a full-time job and trade stock options for a living. So I'm teaching a class on that February 10th through 12th. Not just because, and I talked about this before, everybody's not broken. It's not about, okay, I'm giving you something for free, because that's not going to work. It's a welfare mentality. You will never be successful doing that. However, I just want to say, I do what I do for reasons like this, because there are people who want to do something different, either go advance their business that they already have or start another business, but they're working a 9 to 5 just to pay the bills. They have a job, a just over broke, a job. And if I could free up some of your time, if I could just help you get rid of your part-time job, you would have time to sit down and think, to get somewhere and meditate, to think and plan. Have a tape session, a think and pray every day session. You have time. Or if you just say, my job is super stressful because I hate it. I freaking hate it. I hate Monday morning. I'm always looking for my 1 or 2 little weeks of vacation, or looking for the weekend. That's not any way to live. And because of that, people's gifts suffer. They're not able to deliver their gift to the world in the way that God wants them to do, in a grand way, by offering a service or a good, something that they can add great value to the world, because they don't even have freaking time to think, because they're working all these jobs, or they're working a stressful job. So I'm asking you, if you know somebody who could benefit from my class in February 10th through the 12th, get with me about that. Also, I'm hosting a free seminar, loaded with information, from 9 to 2 on Saturday. I almost said October again. Saturday, January 27th, at my church home, Victory Tabernacle, 3250 Sylvester Road. Is open to the public because we are church. Okay. you can come. And when you come there, if you purchase the VIP package, you will have, which is $30, gets you lunch, snacks, a signed copy of my Better Than Average Success Principles book. And it also gets you a ticket to enter the drawing. Someone there that day, okay, will win free tuition. Okay, this is a $4,995 value. Or right now, up until tomorrow, it's on discount for $1,995. But however, whether it's $2,000 or $5,000, it's a lot of money. Okay, you will win free tuition to my 3-day stocks and my options trading seminar, which will teach you how to double or replace your part-time or full-time income. In those 3 days, you will be able to do it, trade that Monday. Starting that Monday, I will give you everything you need. Somebody will win that if you come to this seminar and you purchase the VIP package, which is only $30. Notice, VIP doesn't mean very important person, okay? In my book, or in my way of teaching, it means very intense pursuit, okay? There are some people who just want to get by. Some people who say, hey, and that goes back to me saying nothing in life is free, not even salvation. Okay, it's not free. Salvation is not free because somebody else paid for it. You also have to give your life to get it. Okay, meaning you have to, turn in your old ways. And yes, you can be saved and not give your life and not change anything. Those are the people who just want to get by, just want to get to heaven. But me, I want to have everything that's due to me on earth. I want to walk in that authority like Jesus. I want to say things and make it happen. I want to be in a wealthy place, not worry about anything, have positive energy. That's the thing. So some people are in very intense pursuit. Any opportunity, they're going to take it. I'm always learning. I'm always growing. If there's an opportunity, I'll spend the money. I'll spend the time because I know I'm going to grow. It's going to add value to me. I add more value to you. So a lot of times I go to conferences and they have a VIP package. Okay, VIP package. Sometimes you get to eat lunch with the speaker, and this might be a multimillionaire, it might be a celebrity. You might get a mentoring session with this person. You may get lunch. You may get. But what I want to say is, yes, VIP means you're in very intense pursuit. Meaning, if anything that I can do to ensure my success, I'm gonna go the extra mile. Anything that you got to offer me, I'm gonna take it if it's for me. Okay, not that you're trying to sell me something, but if I know I can benefit from it, I'm in very intense pursuit. I don't just want the crumbs. I don't want to barely get by. I want to be better than average. Okay, it's like my book says. So very intense pursuit. Not only you want to get the most out of it, you want to have your meal there instead of going off for a lunch break. You want to get the better than average principles, and you want to enter to win that 3-day class. Okay, that's going to teach you stuff that you can teach your kids. I have a student right now teaching their kids, teaching their coworkers, teaching them. Yeah, went there. Okay, teaching them how to do this instead of having a part-time job or doing something that you can volunteer somewhere and work under a mentor for free. If you're making money, trading stock options, 10 minutes a week, clicking a button and having the money go into your account. But I don't want to get too far from that. I'm talking about Greenhouse, but that's why I love what I do, because I teach people and help people to not only get their mindset right, but I have a skill set. I don't know a lot about real estate. I don't know a lot about foreign exchange. I'm getting ready to study that. Okay. But I do know about stock options, how to replace your income, how to make weekly and monthly income doing that, and free up your time so you can think, so you can be with your family, so you can start your business. So listen, or make some extra money so that you can launch your business. If you want to do it and God has called you to do it, the opportunity is there. Yes, it takes some work. Okay, the land and milk that flows with milk and honey, it was for them. It belonged to them, but they had to get some people out of there. Some people who were, trying to occupy the land. So it took some work and time. But Greenhouse Catering, we've reached our time, our due season. Doors are opening, windows are open. We're flying. So if you want to join us, okay, get with us. We will have opportunities where we're going to be entertaining people as far as who want to work with us in the future, because we're going to have some big events. We already see that. Okay, we're already trusting God for that. And that's about it. Please share this video. Okay, please like the video, share it. I know people are chilling, but later on, hopefully they'll get in and see the blessings that I've gained just from learning about this as this business has grown over the years. Have a wonderful Sabbath, Sunday evening, or whatever evening you consider for rest. Take some rest, okay, recuperate, and have a lovely week to come and a wonderful life.